We pause at this time to reflect on the prophecy of the coming of the Christ child to Bethlehem and to give thanks to the fulfillment of the prophecy about 2,000 years ago. Enable us to remember and prepare our hearts for your coming, Lord Jesus. Amen.
It's time out. Song of meditation.
Jesus, 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 there's something about that name. Master, Savior, Jesus, like the fragrance after the rain. Jesus, come on, say it. Jesus, come on, all over the church. Jesus, let all the earth proclaim. Come on, lift your hands right here and sing. Kings and kingdoms shall all pass away, but there's something about that day. Yes, there's something about that name, that name, that name, that name. Yes, there's something about that name.
Lord God, you come and we give you thanks, praise, glory for being our great God. We ask of you now as we come to hear your word. Speak, Lord, to each of us. In our respective places, about the matters of our lives. Speak a word that we may have clarity in our direction, that we may be able to see and hear more keenly, and that God, we may reaffirm our purpose. I pray now, commune with thee, Holy Spirit. Our time of communication with your people in Jesus' name. Amen. There is something. Turn with me, if you will, to the book of Isaiah, chapter 7. And we want to read in your hearing verse number 14. Isaiah 7 and 14. When you found it, say, I got it. You're looking, say, I'm looking. I don't have a hard copy on whatever. Right for the school. Read. from a King James version of the Bible. Here are the words we find printed. Therefore the Lord himself shall give unto you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, shall call his name Emmanuel. From that verse reading, we want to talk from the subject this morning, pregnant with a promise. Pregnant with a promise. The challenge this morning, noon, is for the men to embrace the idea of pregnancy. Not in a natural sense, but in a spiritual connotation. Know that God's word is true. If God said it, then it's right all by itself. What we want to share with you is God's depositing his promise into us concerning our lives, our situation. Whatever we may be dealing with or confronted with, God has made a promise unto us. Just yesterday, I had a relative of mine who was in an uproar, called me and said, I know I can't reach my pastor right now, but I need a word, I need words concerning anger being provoked, because I don't want to get out of character. I don't want to lose my witness. As I shared with her, I said, the Bible is a tool. If you would go to your concordance, you will find words that will help you in your situation. I said, that would give me a few minutes to get to my desk. I'm driving on the campus now to give you a few more scriptures that could help. I said, but I want you to know that whatever you are facing, God's word has an answer. There's nothing that we're going to experience in our lives that God's word does not speak to. It seems as though that God knew somehow or another that we would be coming this way. In the Bible, all 66 books, therein you will find something that will fit yourself. I want to let you know that God's promise is God's commitment to you. Oh, yeah. Not every one of us is going to get the same promise at the same time. God might be telling you this today and telling someone else something different today, but he has a promise for each and every last one of us.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah. We know that the Word of God is the voice of God. Mm-hmm. It's the voice of God. And God, through his word, through his word, speaks to us. I think that's why it's important for us to grab our Bibles, our phones, and read what God is saying. Should I say that again? It's important for us to read what God is saying. Yeah. I want you to know that if you're pregnant, if you are pregnant, you should have a day of delivery. You should have a due date. No woman I know of wants to be pregnant. No. Am I wrong? I'm talking to the ladies now. I don't know of no woman that wants to be pregnant forever. Amen.
Her experience in this.
Oh, I was waiting. I was waiting to see if some of you all were saying, well, it's fine with me. And the next time you get pregnant, we just going to be witnesses. Asking the question, how long? How long? Now, don't be like somebody. I know somebody. I'm going to tell y'all something else. I know somebody whose wife was pregnant over a year. So she said. She had just about everybody believing she was pregnant till she got around about the 10th, 11th month. All of us started doing the math and kind of figured out if you were pregnant, you would have been delivered by now, baby. But she kept on believing she was pregnant. I don't know if she still believes it now, but it's been almost 7 or 8 years. She still like had no baby, but I don't know what she telling folk now, but back then she was telling us she was pregnant. She knew she was pregnant. But what nobody gonna convince her anyway. Let me go ahead and close, get us towards the end of this sermon. Advent season deals with the beginning of the Christian calendar year. And during this time of Advent, there are 4 Sundays we will recognize, and the white candle is always lit on Christmas Day. It's Jesus being the light of the world. I intentionally, out of the options of scripture that we could have chosen to deal with today, I intentionally chose Isaiah because it is the prophetic book. And what I want us to understand about prophecy or the prophet that God uses in this time, that if God said it, then God will perform. It's only a matter of time that when God says something, that God will bring it to pass. Isaiah starts out by sharing with us, and every Advent Sunday starts out with this word, one word called hope. It is the prophecy of the Messiah that he is coming to a world where it seemed as though God has pulled himself back from them. And they are allowed to go through their various experiences, their ups and their downs, without hearing a voice from God. In the theological world, we say that this is a period of time where God has become silent. God has put up with Israel and all of her back and forth and her in and out, her commitments and uncommitments, her saying, I never do it again, and doing it over and over again. Where God has given them judges and rulers and kings. However, Israel decides that they will not adhere to either. When things are good, they tell God, I'll check on you later. But when things are bad, they are crying to God and saying, where art thou, O Lord? So God has grown to a place where they've gotten into the promised land. They've experienced the bountifulness of God. They've lived in cities that they did not build. They've eaten from vineyards that they did not plant. They have walls that have been protected that they did not build. God has proven over and over again that I am your God. However, they have proven over and over again their disloyalty to God. They even adapt to the idea of paganism when they know that it was God who brought their forefathers out of slavery, Egypt, through the Red Sea, through the wilderness, over the Jordan, brought them to the promised land. He provided for them in their every need. But when things were going good, somehow or another, they would forsake God. You know, we all have a tendency every now and again that when God's favor is upon us and things are going the right way, and it seems as though we're not going to encounter any more turbulent wind or storms, that we would get arrogant and beside ourselves, feeling as though that we've done something amazing. And we no longer need God. God, who's brought me this far, I got it from here. If I should need you again, I know where I check you in at, and I'll come back and check you out. I want you to know that when God is blessing us, sometimes it's easy to become arrogant and cocky and overconfident in ourselves. Because we feel like, listen, the momentum is building and things are going great, and we feel like there ain't no stopping us now. You gotta be careful. Least you forget the Lord who brought you out of Egypt. Because it's just up the road from here that the devil is waiting on you, trying to prevent you and to block your progress. I want you to know that every promise that God makes comes in the form of a seed. God plants this promise in the heart of the believer. And not everybody will receive. I'll say amen to that. Amen. Not everybody will receive God's promise. Oh, you know that some fell on stony ground. Some grew up with the weed in the town. Got choked out because they allowed circumstances beat them up. Have you ever figured out among yourselves how we promote the problem rather than the promise? God gives us a word and say, I'm going to do A, B, and C. And as soon as you encounter a storm, you throw the promise to the back of your mind and start thinking that I'm in this by myself. I want to ask you how you made it so far if you're in it by yourself. All you got to do is think about the last encounters that you had and thought that you were not going to make it through. Somebody said, but God. God came and assisted you in your situation. And God has a storyline over and over again in our lives that every time you run into a wall, I'll be there. Every time you run into a problem, I'll be there. Every time you have some difficulty, I'll be there. Every time the devil trick you up, I'll be there. Every time he opposes you, I'll be there. Every time he knocks you down, I'll be there. You haven't practiced. I'll be there. So my challenge to you today is not to ever let go of the promise. Rather let go of your problem. I had a friend call me last night, and I was get this text and run it through real quick. Called me last night, and they wanted to know what was my idea concerning a particular situation. And I told them, I said, I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Now, you may think what I'm going to say is off the wall, but I want you to listen to what I'm saying. And the situation was this of such. She said to me, she said, Reverend Adams, I want to ask you this because I respect you. I want to ask you this because I'm just kind of troubled by it. And I want to ask you this question. She said, now, if a person has been married more than twice, more than 3 times, what? Why should they come to the church and have a religious ceremony? And what color dress? This is funny to us, but this is a person that was stuck because they're trying to make some sense of some stuff. And I said, she says to me, I just want to know that, does it make sense? Because they could have went to the justice of the peace and kept this a secret and just moved on with it. I said, now here's my answer. I said, you're probably going to think I'm being comical with you. And I appreciate the level of respect you say you have. You might lose something from this reply. I said, where I am in life right now. I said, what color dress she wearing? If she pay for it and not me, it makes no difference to me what color she put on. If in her heart she feels that this one is the one God said for real, for real, for real. And because she already had 3, for real, for real, for real. And this was the one that God said for real, for real, for real. And she feels led that she wants to have a religious ceremony. Who are we to stand on the jury pew or in the seat of judgment to say what she has or has not heard from God? I said, this is my advice. I had some more conversation here to you. If you wanted to go, go. If you didn't want to go, you should have stayed at home. I said, this is where I am in my life. I'm not ready and willing and want to debate with nobody over nothing. If you feel like out there in that Northside Drive, you can stand in the middle of the road and won't nobody hit you, please don't invite me to watch, but have your way with Northside Drive. I told her what we have to recognize is that we get too engaged in other folk affairs that have nothing to do with us, whereas we could spend this time working on us, trying to get ourselves to a better place than to worry about what somebody else doing. Because that child's wedding didn't cost you a thing. That girl's hair didn't cost you a thing. That girl's dress didn't cost you a thing. That girl idea was not your idea at all. If you didn't want to participate in it, all you had to do was stay at home. But I just want to know, is it right to have them in the husband? Jesus told a woman, you had 5 husbands. She was sharing somebody else's dough, but she had 5 husbands. And the one you got now ain't yours. Put his head down, rolled on the ground something. And when he looked up at the woman and asked this question, where art thou accusers? Because John knew he had stopped by. Jesse knew he had gone by when John had stopped by. So when they found out that Jesus knew that she had other husbands, before he looked up from right and started calling this is one and that's one, the crowd, y'all think I'm playing? But I've been in a church service before. And the preacher got to talking and pointing out folks' stuff. I got out of line. Talk to them. Don't call my son. Don't call my son. You get too close to me. Stuff you telling them out loud, I don't want to hear it in this room. Y'all ain't never did that before? Y'all ain't never been in a church meeting where somebody was working and the spirit was flowing, and you thought God was getting ready to call out your stuff, and you started trying to lay back and lean back and wait. That might be a little bit too deep for y'all. That might be a little bit too deep. I've been in a service like that before, where the preacher was on it, man. He would call the folks stuff out, and I was looking at the folk I knew, and I was looking at him and said, boy, he on point right now. And he was 7 folk up from me. So I better move. So, because if he this exact on them folk up there, I know he ain't gonna lose it by the time he gets to me. So he was just warming up coming down. Let me say, now, here we are. Don't lose me, stay with me, because all this point. I'm talking about the prophecy. Here it is that Isaiah gives us this word, and we got to see, where's my seed, that's growing inside of us. And what you still actually want to born again. Oh, here it is. The seed that is growing inside of us. God gives us this seed. Now, I need you to know now that this seed will cause you problems in your life. I want you to know that when you're under the devil's attack, it's not about you. It's about the promise that God has made. I spent a little time trying to think. You know, when you've been in church as long as I have, 30 years preaching this gospel, and I mean, I'm a very practical believer. You know, I don't probably shouldn't say this, but I don't have time for the shows and exhibitions. No, I'm not for that. Whatever you see me do, you better know I'm convinced that God works with that. You know, and not saying that you don't. Not saying that. I'm just saying I don't jump on wagons quick. That's me. You know, just because somebody else wrong don't mean I was wrong. You follow what I'm saying? Just because somebody else shout don't mean I was shout. I stand back and let you do your experience. I won't get in the way of it, but I don't jump on top of everything. No. I know that God gives us spiritual gifts. I believe the word of God. But I do believe he says somewhere he gives them to them according to their ability. I don't desire every gift. I don't desire every gift. The reason why is because I don't want to be responsible for everything. And if the devil is after the seed, I will be under continual attack all the time. Now, let me make the point, I'll make it right here. The reason what I come up with in my contemplation is why the devil is always after us is because the devil missed his opportunity. He got dismissed from heaven and he messed himself up. And because he messed himself up, his desire is to mess us up. He don't want us to get what he missed out on. So what he ends up doing is causing interruptions in our lives and distractions in our lives so that we won't get the fullness of what God has promised to us. He'll cause interruptions, he'll cause hiccups, he'll cause roadblocks and all of those kinds of things because he wants you to be discouraged. You know, he can't stop God from blessing you, but he wants you to be discouraged about God. The times and moments when you've gone through some stuff, you ask God how long, or you say, I almost fainted about to give up. Oh, he's plotting that because that's really what he wants you to do. So when God gives you a promise, I need you to know that it takes time for that promise to come to pass. Nothing is going to happen overnight that's worthwhile. No. Nothing is going to happen overnight that's worthwhile. No. The reason why God doesn't give us stuff overnight is because we wouldn't value it. If God just came and showed up every time we called his name at that particular moment without any delays, we would think that we got God in our pocket, man. God, so wait a minute. When are you ever going to grow up? You know, I had a conversation with my son not long ago, and we were talking about money and whatnot, and I had to let him know, son, let me help you understand something here. There are some things lessons that go with broke. A lesson called being disciplined with your money. Yeah, if you don't manage it, you're going to end up spending it all. That's right. You can't spend it and say, I'm going to borrow from daddy, because here's the day when I say no. Now, I'm not intending to bail you out of every one of your loans that you want to make. Because after a while, you only make so much, you'll be in debt to me, man, for the next few months of your paycheck. And what you going to do when you owe me 3 months?
Come on now.
See, my attitude is like trust ball. You got to be credit worthy. And you can't ask frequently for loans until you sell it. Some of the other, I want to know what your repayment history is. I want to know who your other creditors are. And I want to know how you paid them back. I don't want your income to debt ratio be too high when it comes to paying me back. But God knows you're living under my roof, and I'm looking at you about my money every day. It's going to be some discomfort under this roof. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I want my son to be able to know that when he's out there in the world on his own, that you got to manage this money. Whatever you want got to be chopped up into pieces, and you bring the pieces together, and then you're able to get the whole thing. You follow what I'm saying? You need to know how to save and manage and put back and enjoy a little bit of it. Yeah, you need to learn that. So if I'm teaching these kind of lessons to my son, why do you think that God holds himself back some? Because he wants you to understand the process. God wants you to know that, listen, that every time you get yourself in trouble, I'm going to get you out. But sometimes I'm going to let you wallow in that stuff. I'm going to help you to realize that the next time this familiar thing come up, I don't want to get in it this time like I did last time. Because God didn't come as soon as I wanted him to. But nonetheless, while we're going through this process, the seed inside of us is growing. God wants us to know, I got you. No doubt about that, I got you. But I need you to know that there's some things you need to learn that's called prevention. In this story of Isaiah, what he's trying to plant to the life of the people is that there is hope. That there is a Messiah that's going to come and rescue you from your sins. He's going to be the one that will deliver you from yourself. I don't know how you feel about it, but I know for me that most of the time my troubles that I have is caused by me. In some instances, the devil didn't make me do it. I just chose that route. Amen? So what we have to realize is that when God has given us a promise, let me push forward fast so we can go. That when God gives us a promise, don't you be anxious about it. Don't you expect God to, when you wake up out of your vision or your dream, that God is going to have it on display the next morning. No, what God does with us is gives us hope. He builds us up to know that we can expect things from him. The danger of being anxious is that we would take anything rather than the particular thing that God has promised. Because it looks like what God said, I'll take it. And you don't want to take something that God is not giving you. Here is a life experience that you ought to recognize. When folk bring up to you after all I done done for you, no, they did it because they were looking for payback. And you only have a couple of times to get me with all I got, all I did for you. The first time I forgot. The second time gonna help me remember. Don't do this the next time. Because I believe that when God blesses you to bless somebody, you're supposed to release that. And you're not supposed to look back on it. If you do what God said, you did it because God said it. And everything that God tells me to do, I don't want to do it. But I do it because I want to obey God. And I want God to be pleased. I did something yesterday that I wasn't too comfortable with. Up in Shona. Oh, not Shona. Where we were. Name the place. I went there to eat, ran in and get me something to eat. It felt like grabbing me some breakfast real quick. Had a taste for a two. And that ain't but like $6. And when I got my ticket, I realized it was $6 and change. And the little girl that was serving me, I said, Lord, it hit me. Let a hold. I ain't had number 20s in my pocket. And it's very rare that I carry money like that, so that y'all know don't bother me. But the Spirit hit me and said, let her have it all. I said, my meal is just sick. Y'all follow me now, my meal ain't but just 6 and some change. Y'all with me? And you said, let her have it all. This is the twist right here, Tom. When she brought my change back, because I didn't stay up in IHOP no more, about 5 to 10 minutes. They gave her food, I ate fast. I'll give it a go. Here's the trick. When she brought me my change back, some told me to put that change up because you got a whole 20 in your pocket. I had the Lord wrong. I thought the Lord was talking about give her like $14 or $13 and some change. But what he really was talking about was give her a whole 20. That one kind of bothered me. Because after I understood what he was saying, I felt more better giving her the 13 and some change. But this is what I had to say to myself. Lord, I don't know what she got going on. And I don't know why you're impressing upon me to do this. But just so I don't miss out on something, I'm going to go ahead and give her this 20. Because I know that when God sends it back, it's always multiplied. So 120 for a mountain of blessings that will be coming my way, I give up 20 because I don't know what's up the road from me. But I do want to know that I got a seed in the ground somewhere. That whenever I find myself needing something, that there's a harvest somewhere that I can pull from. I heard a scripture come to mind. He that giveth to the poor, he lendeth to the Lord. And God promised, I'll pay you back. So when I let that 20 go yesterday, I had a word to go along with it. That what I gave to her was God's repayment to me.
Yes, Lord. Oh, yes, Lord. Thank you. Yes, sir.
So he helps us to understand that a seed planted in us takes time. The reason we don't want to rush it because we got to realize that anything that we eat that is raw, that even the restaurant tells us on the menu that consuming raw food, that there is a danger in it. Even when we're pregnant ladies and we have babies prematurely, 6 months in, we know that we don't get to take that baby home. That baby goes to an incubator where they continue their growth development, where their organs and things are allowed to continue to grow. In other words, I want you to know that anything that is premature that we try to take and receive, that there's some dangers and threats that goes along with it. That's why I tell folks that when someone asked me the other day, said, do you have a husband you can recommend? I got one man I can recommend to anybody that I know ain't gonna ever leave you, ain't gonna ever be wrong. His name is Jesus. I don't know how you get him to the altar, and I don't know how you get him to do his vow, but I can't recommend nobody with no promises except the man Jesus. Because I know him as a preacher, I know him as a friend, I've never known him as a spouse. So we have to realize that we can't take the blessings of God prematurely without some dangers or threats. It's already bad enough that when we wait for God to give us the thing, that the devil is already in pursuit, trying to take it from us. So let's not be anxious for anything, but through prayer and supplication. Let us not be anxious for anything, but through prayer and supplication, make our requests known. Even let God know with specificity what you want from him. What you want from him. I'm always challenged that when I make a vow with God, and when God has promised me something, I'm always challenged to put it on post-it notes. That when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, I'm reminded of what God said. When I open up the refrigerator, I'm reminded of what God said. When I go out the bedroom door, I'm reminded of what God says. When I pull out a drawer to retrieve my t-shirts and my socks, I'm reminded of what God says. Why are those things important? Because you got to know that when God gives you a promise, the devil's surely going to beat up on you. He's going to try to tell you, God can't do that. God ain't going to do all that. Why is God going to do that just for you? But I read my promise every chance I get to be reminded that when life takes a left turn on me, that God has left a promise with me on the inside. That when things get dark and weary, that God has left a promise with me. So rather than focusing on my problems, I'm continually reminded of my promise. We have a promise that's growing on the inside of us. We got a promise that's growing on the inside. We have to ask ourselves, why would God give us a promise? Then make us wait. Because God wants to know what's your commitment to what he's saying. Are you going to allow it to grow? Are you going to wait and trust me for it? Or are you going to be hasty and try to work it out for yourself? Have anybody ever heard the old cliche? Haste makes waste. Never understood. When I was 10, 11 years old, and my mom and my big mama kept on saying, haste, make waste. What on the earth are y'all talking about? Haste, make waste. Being in a hurry. You ain't gonna do nothing but mess up something. Rushing all the time. You ain't gonna do nothing but mess up something. You were getting God's way, trying to rush God to a close. God wants to know that we can expect him and know that while we are waiting, that there's a time of preparation for ourselves. I want you to know, you just can't get it because you ask for it. You got to be prepared for what you're asking God for. If you're asking God for a good man, be a good woman. For the good man that God's going to bring your way. If you're asking God for more, be faithful over the little bit that you have so that God can see that you can be trusted with more. While you're waiting on God, Frankie, there's a time called prenatal care. While you're waiting on this seed that's been planted in you, come for fruition. Those of us who know that we pregnant, we got to change our diet. We can't eat a whole lot of junk. We can't drink a whole lot of junk, especially a whole lot of intoxicating drinks. You can't eat now, ladies. Sage plankton, moon pies, nutty buddies, bubble gum, potato chips, all kinds of soda pop, juices that high in sugar, and expect to have a healthy baby. You gotta pay attention to your health. Yeah. So while we're waiting on God, what is that call for us? It's called the meeting time. While we're waiting on God, we got to pay attention to our environment. We got to pay attention to the words that we speak. And we got to pay attention to the things we consume. And what I'm trying to challenge you to do right now is to say that when God is giving you a promise, don't you let a whole lot of negativity choke out your promise. Amen. I'm going to tell you something in a minute. Let me get a sip. I'm sorry y'all hot. I'm trying to go fast. But I just remember my big woman saying that you got to dress like the weather, like the season. And when it gets hot in the fall, you can't turn that air on just because it's hot. You fool around and get sick, boy. So that's why I didn't turn the air on this day. Because I heard my big woman say, you're going to get sick fooling around with that air. When you put your t-shirts on, keep on wearing your t-shirts all the way through the summertime. Now, they had no big woman told y'all no stuff like that, did you? I'm just old school like that, so that's why you ain't got no air. But it hurt me But listen, in the meantime, what I'm saying is that we got to pay attention that we don't get involved in a whole lot of gossip, a whole lot of naysaying, a whole lot of foolery and conversation, dealing with a whole lot of doubt and a whole lot of negativity. What happens with that is that people will make you abort God's promise. Well, what you told me God's going to do, well, why is it taking so long? Because it's special order. Well, you've been saying now for a while that God is going to do it and it's just any day now. If I was you, keep praise. If I was you, and you start buying into it because they're trying to give you our you counsel. I'm going to tell y'all something that I learned that helped me with our you. I started looking at if I were you. If I was you, took the same advice they gave you, they would give you different advice. Girl, if I was you, I wouldn't. And when you look at their lives, they are. What they're trying to tell you not to do is the very thing that they're doing. Don't you let nobody make you quit on God. What I'm saying is, in the meantime, what you have to realize that God said it, God's going to do it. But God ain't going to show up tomorrow with it just because he said it. Sometimes God wants to know, are you fully convinced that I'll do it? God wants to know, are you fully persuaded and committed to what I've said? I've had some things in my life, I know one in particular, I prayed about for 5 years straight before God showed up and answered. Now, why it took him 5 years, only he knows. But God wants to know, would you going to stick with it? Because you know how we are. We get something, we want something for now. Then we change our minds in the middle of the stream. Try figuring out what you're going to eat for lunch. When I think I want Popeye, no. I think I'm going to go get me a 4 for $4. No. I think I'm going to go up to Luby's. No, I really think I got a taste for. It's been a week now. Friday, not this past Friday, but the Friday before. I had a taste for some seafood. Ain't got it yet. Every time I have to decide what I'm going to eat, I've been picking something other than what I had a craving for on that Friday. I said, well, I don't want to go to Kroger and stand in line to get it. Then the only other place that I was thinking about I wanted to get it from, I said, well, that kind of costs a lot for me to go down 49. Then I said, if I go down there, then I don't buy that from. And just the other day I was thinking, well, I really don't want to go and eat by myself. So just in an uproar. So I just decided on everything else but the seafood. God knows we wishy-washy. We want it right now, but in the stream, we change our mind. God delays to say, do you really know what you're asking for? Do you really want what you're asking for? Are you really serious about what you're asking for? Do you want it because somebody else wanted it? And do you know what they had to do to get what they got? Did you know how long they had to wait to get it? Did you know what they had to go through to get what they got? See, we just asking for stuff because we see it. We don't know what you had to go through. That's why I tell little Gary, when you talking about, Dad, I want to be a preacher like you. I said, boy, you don't know the story. You just really just looking at the glamour of what I do on stage on Sunday after Sunday. But you don't know what I go to sleep with and what I wake up with through the middle of the night. You don't want to. And I really told me, I don't want you to be no preacher, no pastor, because out of all the things that I've been through, I don't will that. Not for you, son. No, I don't want folk to try to love you in front of folk, and then before you turn around, they say, now look at him thinking he's something. See, tell me the truth, even if it's going to hurt me. If you don't like me, just stay away from me. You ain't got to do anything about that. Boy, I don't want you to go into this kind of thing because folk ain't for real with you. They tell you what they think you want to hear. Because they really want to try to get something out of it. And you can bless them all year long. All it takes is one chance of a ball fumbling, and they'll turn around on you in a whole different way. They'll negate every time you stood there by them in every prayer. You prayed with them, every visitation you made, every phone call you took or returned. All you have to do is fumble the ball one time, and and they'll talk about you like you've never done anything for them at all. Boy, try to choose something else. Be a plumber other than a preacher. Be anything else other than a pastor. Because I know what it's been like for me. But you got to realize that even with that, God is sorting and sifting. Sorting and sifting. Let me make one point here. Since I said that, I'm going to tell you the biggest dilemma for any pastor. Biggest stress any pastor has. You know what that is? Finding one person they can trust. If I just had one person that I could trust, it would be a light in my dark space. If I can just find one person that will see it through, that'll get it, own it, and work it all the way through. Those are the biggest contentions we have. Finding people that you can trust. Everybody wants something. Why they hug you? Y'all looking at me strange? You got to realize this. Point number 2 is this. Your prenatal care is called the meantime. You got to eat the right foods. You got to adhere to some practices. Fasting, prayer, and meditating on the Word of God. Those things are important. Why? Because these things right here will keep you encouraged that God is going to do what He said. Fasting ain't no hurrying God about it. Fasting is so that you can be in sync with God. It is to deny your flesh and bring the level of carnality down and the level of spirituality up. I hope I'm not making it too plain. I hope I'm not talking too low to insult your intelligence. But that's all fasting is about. The Word is just a reminder of God's conversation with you. And meditation is allowing it to simmer in your spirit. I don't care what you say. A smothered pork chop in gravy is much better than a pork chop just fried and just eat it by itself. But if you can cover the pan and make you some gravy and let it simmer a little bit, or it gets more tender, breaks up, more chewable, easy to digest. That's what I say. Now, here's the last thing, and I got to finish this so we can go like I said. This seed has been growing in the inside of you. Mary has this thing in her that she's going to conceive a child. God tells her, the angel tells her that Mary, you're favored among women. I want you to realize that he did not tell her that she was the favorite, but that she was favored among women. Don't ever think that you're so special that you're going to get jealous when God starts doing something for somebody else before he starts doing it for you. I've seen it happen time and time again. You might be praying for somebody, and God will answer your prayer concerning them before God will answer the prayer concerning you. Then you end up with a oops upside your head because you feel like you got all tangled up in yourself. Well, I'm praying for you, and God done did this for you before he done did it for me. Don't let that bother you. That ought to be a confirmation that if you can pray for somebody and God answers it, that God hears your prayer. You see how the mind can get twisted? Oh, well, God, why are you answering them? I started praying before they started praying. And I was praying for them after I started asking for what I want. And God, you started feeling low. God said, now, what you need to see is that I heard your prayer. Then I answered the prayer. If I can do that you pray for them, don't you think I can do what you do for yourself? Mary is pregnant. She's favored. She's favored among women. It is Mary's season. And what you need to understand is that God operates in season. That not every one of us is going to get a promise at the same time. Not every one of us is going to have due dates at the same time. Not every one of us are even going to be pregnant at the same time. So the seed that God gives us, you got to know that this is what the devil wants. There's nothing special about you that he wants. It's the promises inside of you. It's the word of God that you receive in your belly that he wants. He wants to bring that to naught because he knows that if he can persuade you to quit, your disencouragement or your discouragement, you're going to tell somebody else to quit. And then you'll tell somebody else to quit. Then you'll tell somebody else to quit. Then you'll tell somebody else to quit. Then you start hearing conversations like this. If it was God, he knows what I want. Why won't he do it anyway? Why I got to pray for him? Because it's all about relationship. When you appreciate me and love me and we walking together, hey, I'm going to do things for you. I'm going to look out for you. That's just what relationships work. I don't care who you are. When you're somebody's friend and they're on your heart, oh man, you'll make a sacrifice for a friend. Or you'll go out of your way for a friend. You'll tell them I'm busy, but guess what? I'm not that busy that I'm going to take time out for you. That's what relationships are all about. And the more that you are faithful and more that you are loving with God, loving God, then God said, hey man, we're on to something. The more that I love him and the more he continues to prove his love to me, the greater my benefits are. Amen. When we move from that first seed being planted and we move to the time we call the mean time, which is prenatal care, then we all end up with a due date. That which God has planted in us, it has to come forth. Let me move the notion that we've been having for years. And one of the notions that we've been having for years is that when God shows up, then God is going to drop it right there. As though God is somehow doing it this way. That God is saying, okay, today's the day of delivery. God looks in the inventory closet, he pulls out what he's promised, and he brings it to you, and he places it there. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. When God has given you a promise, have you ever wondered where's that promise? Where's the fruition of that promise? Have you ever wondered what's really been going on with the promise that God made? Well, let me tell you something. The seed that was planted in you has been with you all the time. It's been with you all the time. God doesn't go to an inventory room to pull anything off the shelf. When God made you a promise, God put the promise inside. It is responsibility. The responsibility is yours to carry that promise for you. Because now when you see it this way, that God's got a promise inside of you, it changes my conversation altogether. I'm not waiting on something, rather I'm carrying something. I'm carrying a promise that God has made to me. It's only a matter of time before this thing that's inside of me is growing. Let me tell you what's happened with this promise. The promise that you made. You ever had any kids? You ever had any kids? Do you know that when you got closer to your 9th month, do you know what happened with what you was carrying? The head turned. When you get close to your due date, your situation has no option but to turn. How do you know when your due date was near? How did you know that it was almost time for you to deliver? You know when you knew? I'm going to help you here. It was something that you experienced called pain. And at the hospital, they told you they were called contractions. Every one of us, when we get close to due date, we're going to start having some pain. The pain that you're going through in your life is simply an indication that the due date is not. Because people who oppose you don't want you to deliver at all. He would rather you keep on carrying it rather than believing that he's eventually going to come to pass. But the promise lies inside of you. That's why God needs you to say it's only a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. The deepest and the hardest resistance that you're going to get is right there when God is ready to bring it through. If you don't believe it, ask a woman who delivered a child. The worst pain that you will experience is when that child cries and get ready to come forth. You feel like, oh my God, Have I died or am I dying? Especially if you got nothing to do. For the natural people, you always ask for it when it's too late. We here, baby, we stuck down. But the pain is an indication. It's the due date. It's right there. Then sometimes you end up thinking that we got it, it's all over, it's a wrap, done, it's right. God has gave you what he promised. You're fine. What I'm realizing is that God's promises come double for me. God promised you stuff on this side. God promised you stuff on this. You never knew you were carrying twins, did you? You just thought you was carrying this one. Where's my mom? Where's the mom? On the music. On the music. I told her she'd get it, but she said no. Did you see it? You thought she called? She did. But here's the point. He said, Reverend, how do you come over that? Because what Peter asked the question of Christ was that have we not forsaken houses and land and family to come after you? Have we not abandoned mom and dad, sisters and brothers to go after you? And Jesus says to Peter simply, no one has left anything for my cause. Who shall not receive a reward in this life and in the life to come. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason that I did back with her a second time is because I want you to understand that God understands that when we mess up, that he won't give up. He'll come back to you again and let you try. He'll come back to you again and let you try. One more time. Listen to me. What do you walk away with today? And say that I adopt this idea of being perfect with a promise. I want to share this with you because I need you to know that in the spirit of Advent, as we're dealing with hope, that many of us have come to life situations where we feel discouraged. We feel like it's just not going to happen for us. That things are just not going to pull together. Then we're going to move into this time of Thanksgiving, and we're going to move into this time of Christmas, and this is the time where suicidal rates are getting higher. And because people are feeling depressed about things. While other of us are singing songs that we're jubilant about, there are other people that are going deeper and deeper and deeper into their cave. I just want to stop by today just to let you know that if God has ever spoken a word to you, don't you let that word go. Hold that word and trust that whatever things that you're going through is a part of the process of God. Don't ever think that people walking away from you is because they want to walk away from you. Some people have no option but to walk away from you. Because sometimes you go to a place where people can no longer hang on. We're just out of their reach. I'm going to tell y'all something personal. You can believe this if you will. There were so many terms when I was in theological school that I picked up on. And I can't have those kind of conversations using my words. You know why? Because there are not many people that understand when I talk theological talk, when I'm talking about Christology. What does that mean? Ecumenical. What are you talking about? Soteriology. What are you saying? There's nobody that really can dialogue with it, so you end up losing things that you once had. You forget those expressions, so forth and so on. And you don't get to use them every day. So I went through school, and I said this last week, that I went through school spending about $30,000 for education, and I got a whole lot of words that's just dormant. I wish God that there were some people who could understand what mitigating and exacerbate means. That I can use those kind of terminology because I want to change my vocabulary. But then you don't find many folk that want to talk up.
That's right. Yeah. Come on now.
They don't want to use different terminology. And then not only words, but when you tell people to look at life from a particular angle, and you start to ask life questions. Because there's nothing really wrong, in my opinion, with being an optimist. To believe that somewhere in a small place that God has an opportunity to do something supernatural. To live in a place where you believe in folk. You want to see them do better. And more often than not, you're going to want more for people than they're going to want for themselves. But there's nothing wrong with that if you are that kind of person, in my opinion. Because I think it takes all of us to make up the world. To be in a place where people can look into the circumstances and say that, listen, the only reason I'm catching the blues like this is because the devil don't want me to have it, but God is determined that he's going to do it. Yeah. If I don't lose sight of God, it won't be long now before it'll come to pass. Being pregnant with a promise is always having our eyes on God, to know I'm always carrying something in the inside of me that God will do for me. I don't want you to walk away today with another step away from your dreams and your ambition to feel like God can't perform it. I want you to know that if it's taking a little time for it to work, and I capture this expression from somebody, when you make a special order, baby, it takes time for them to prepare. You can't expect the chef to cook your food like he cooks mine. Not when you tell him to do it without salt. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and say, leave off the salt? Well, that's going to take us a little time because all the fries that's under the light right now, all of them got salt on it. So we're going to have to drop a whole other basket. Wait a minute, you're going to do what? Drop a whole other basket. Wait a minute, you're going to do what? Drop a whole other basket. See, you didn't think that it was special enough at Wendy's that they would drop a whole other basket of fries for you just because you didn't want salt. See, what you have to know is that when you make a special request, that you are special enough to receive that which you particularly receive. And that's what happens to us. Most of the time, we forget about how valuable we are, and we just start accepting anything. But you got to realize that when God planted it in you, that the seed has been with you all the time. Amen. But it's up to you to nourish it. It's up to you to guard it. It's up to you to protect it. It's up to you to carry it full term. To make sure that, listen, if anything happens, this is one thing we will not. I won't fail. We're going. God said, I'm a believer that God did it. And if I got to wait on it 5 years, I'll wait on it. If I got to wait on it 10 years, I'll wait on it. As long as God's promise rests with me, I'll wait until God do it. I want you to go back and grab your dreams. And I want you to go back and grab those desires and ambitions. And I want you to believe that God can perform everything that he said he can. It's never too late for God to do it. Every now and again, God gives us a testimony that a grandmother went back to school and finished her degree at the age of 60-something years old. I said, what would a 60-year-old person want to do with a degree? It's my bucket list thing. It was just my dream to be able to have my degree. Not that it's going to be anything special to anybody else, but it was something that I wanted to do. And ain't God precious that at 65 years old, he's still making dreams come true. Amen. This is special. That God, as soon as you do that, he can still make things come true. I said this and I'm done. I watched my mom was 70-something years old. When my grandbabies are around, grandchildren, I should say grandbabies, I'm about to baby for Xander. 70-something years old. I look at how she gets in the fold. 70 plus years old. She rolls, sits, play with, carry on. 70-something years old, she'll let you strap a car seat in. And she'll take them wherever they go. 70-something years old, she'll get out there and run against them, play a game. You look at it at 70-something, you say, man, you get that? Where's you from? Because see, when I was growing up, most 70 years old, And I look at her and I try to get my children to see that you all are blessed. That your grandmother is making a contribution towards your children, that she's able to help you out. And not to take that for granted, even that she's here at 70-something years old. You follow what I'm saying? Because the Lord, people always say the Lord promised 10. I'm revisiting that scripture too. I don't know if the Lord's promises 10. I think God's number is the number that we get. I don't think it's just 10. That's just me now. I'm dealing with that scripture all by myself. Because if the Lord's number is 10, I have to ask God, but what happened to my cousin that was 33 years old? I've asked God, then what happened to my other cousin that was 35 years old? I have to ask God, what happened to that baby that was 7 months old? I have to ask God, if the promise is 10 and a child is innocent and whatnot, then God, what happens to those particular individuals? Did they do something wrong that they didn't get their promised years? Did he do something wrong that they didn't get those days? And if 80 years by reason of strength and they're full of trouble, then I have to ask God, what's going on with that? So I have learned to adapt to the more of the idea of what Hebrews say, that it's appointed unto man once to die. And that our days are numbered, not necessarily all of us will get 10. But whatever our number is, that's what God has promised. Because if you're just dealing with my thoughts right now, but I threw out there, because you have to ask God, are you unjust? What's fair about that person getting 70 years and 75 years when they never graced the church? Never owned your name. Why would you be merciful to someone who's been a heathen for 75 years? Then God responds back to you, it's grace. I gave him 75 years of opportunity to come in, but I realized he wasn't. But it doesn't make now that he got the promise. Am I making sense in what I'm saying? So I'm now leaning towards Hebrews that says in the Old Testament that says that teach us to number our days, that we may know how to apply wisdom. I'm not exactly sure just yet. When I find out for sure, I'm more confident that 70 is on point, I'll be back. But right now, I'm tabling that because I'm wondering what happened to Doug, and what happened to Alonzo. What happened to the 14-year-old that was gunned down? What's happening to that person that didn't even get for 7 months in this world? Going to a home where a mother wakes up in the crib and 3 months old, the baby is no longer with us. God, what's up with you with all of this? What happened to that promise? That child hadn't done anything. Is there a message behind it all? Yeah, I got the message, but I'm trying to figure out, is the 70 really the promise? Or is there something else God intended for us to walk away from that? So I'm sorry I threw that on you today. I don't want you to go home doubting God, but I want you to try to understand God more fully is what I'm trying to do. Is trying to understand more fully his way. Because yes, you can get bothered by the fact that some people's days are cut off short and they've been wonderful people. And some folk get to be 100 and ain't gonna ever do anything different than what they're doing. You look at God, one opposing the other, and say, God, what kind of God are you? But you got to have a little sense to know that for 100 years he gave grace. So that person is without excuse. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm not lost in my walk. I'm just trying to confirm my thinking. At this moment, I want to say to you, don't abandon what God's plan. It's yours. It's yours that it will come to pass. You'll do it. There's some things that I said just the other day to somebody, which was about a couple of months ago. I said, I'm almost getting too old for that to happen in my life. But I realized that God can do it with Abraham and Sarah. He was never too old. I don't want any more children. No, that's not what that was about. I don't want any more kids. But if God can do it with Abraham and Sarah, God can surely make it come to pass with us. I want you to know right now, Frankie, your best days are out front. I want you to know, Fisher, your best days. Yeah, out front. Fleeting, your best days